amazing scenes from the first ever Pahi Challenge, and a huge congratulations to all of the competitors surviving horrific wipeouts, making some of the best rides of the year. And a massive shout out to Billy Kemper. A local boy has taken out this event. It's a historic event. Albie Lair finishing in second spot. A good day for the local boys. Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams and Dave Kalama on the set, and we'll be going through the highlights. There's plenty of them, Dave, but that must have been a special moment for you, seeing Billy Kemper on the back of the ski, enjoying this moment, and also giving a lot of gratitude to the pioneers, yourself included.
Yeah, I'm very humbled, but I am so proud of what Billy, Ian, and even Albie did today. It was really phenomenal surfing. But there was a time where Laird and Double D and I felt like Pahi was our girl. Well, she's not anymore. She's Billy's girl, and right now he owns this place, and it's just, God, I get chicken skin just thinking about it.
She slaps pretty hard.
That's a
Billy Kemper is just
kind of a nasty girl.
He is really emotional, obviously dedicating this win to his late brother, and we've seen this in the past. We saw it with Fanning when he got his breakthrough victory. We saw it when Billy won his first major event at the HIC, but Eric was a really regarded big wave surfer as well, and obviously that was a huge moment for him.
Yeah, it's a shame that he had an early passing because he showed so much promise and so much potential. I remember it's one of those kids where you see, as you know, say a 13-year-old, and you're like, that kid is going places. You can just see it when they're that young. And it's unfortunate that he had an early passing. But Billy carries on the name, carries on that his brother's love of surfing, and boy, he represented himself and his family really well.
Something I remember about Eric Diaz when he came to the North Shore, he had that raw energy where when he would go in the water, he would attack, and he was there to like really take off on a big wave or do something crazy, and you can see that in Billy as well. And I think that's something that we all learned today, because obviously this is the inaugural paddling event at Jaws. It takes a lot of energy to be able to surf for 3 hours in competition at Jaws. You need to withstand that energy all the way to the final, and Billy was that guy.
Amazing lineup for the final. It was all the surfers really earning their place with some incredible rides. We're going to reflect on some of the highlight scores that were logged throughout those earlier rounds. Billy Kemper, he was putting up some of the best numbers throughout, but there's plenty of them, and they started coming before we even got the first heat underway.
Yeah, I mean, this was actually free surfing. Remember this, Dave? Right before maybe a half hour before the first heat started, and you can see how raw the swell was. That had so much energy. We saw Mark Matthews get that crazy wipeout as well. They actually sent him to the hospital with a separated shoulder. But then, you know what was cool is the first round, it would be like the first 4 heats. There was still a ton of energy in the water, and the boys went big.
I sure did, and we got a couple of entries for the GoPro Challenge as well that we'll be peeling through, but this is definitely one of the rides of the year, a 9 for this wave for Greg Long.
Yeah, Greg Long, and then that was so cool. So cool how he just packed that thing. You know, he got a really big wave in the final too. You know, it just shows you how calculated he is. He has that little button he likes to sit on, and it really gets him a perfect entry into the waves he likes.
You know, he's one of the masters here. And when you see someone surf that makes it look easy, the reason they make it look easy is because they know what they're doing. They can anticipate what's about to happen. They can prepare for it, which allows them to surf relaxed and with confidence. And that's how I always judge people of how really good they are, is how easy they make it look. And he makes it look incredibly easy, like, hey, I want to get back out there and catch a wave, but I know it ain't going to end like that.
No.
A great result for the Peruvian, Gabriel Villaran. He took some big waves today, showed a lot of commitment.
He was impressive, you know, and he just blew his ankle apart in Mexico just about 4 or 5 months ago, so pretty impressive for him to recover, come to Maui, and, you know, and make the finals. That's a big result.
And you're watching Albie Lair now, and he just dominated that inside bowl, Dave, from the outset. He knew he wanted to sit there, and lucky for him, a couple of big ones swung wide as well, so he really did find some of the best waves of the day.
I mean, we can literally call the end bowl, when you pull in at the end bowl, you just did an Albie. You know, he owns that spot. That's what he does. He's known for it. He knows what he does. And he waits down there, and he put his time in, and it paid off.
Riding one of the smallest boards in the entire field too, Ross.
And what's so impressive with what Albie does is that end bowl, a lot of times you link an end bowl to like maybe smaller waves, but this wave is a grower. You know, it comes at you out of the channel, and that's what's so impressive about that bowl that Albie sits on. It's still so technical. It's a big late drop.
We'll have a look at the commitment on this ride from Billy Kemper. Throws himself over the ledge, scored a solid total of 21.07 in the first round, the best wave of 7.17 in the semi-finals. Just one wave, but an 8.33 was enough to see him move through to the final in second place.
Yeah, he was impressive, wasn't he? And he again, his aggression, you could feel his energy throughout the entire event. All three heats Billy surfed, he was attacking that lineup. He was putting himself right in a pit every time, and he got a big wave every single heat he suited up for.
And that was the wave of the final, the 8-point ride. I love the way he knifed into that thing. Ian Walsh, Shane Dorian, and also Gabriel Villaran. They had a tough time connecting with decent waves, but this was Ian's road to the final. He had some bomb waves and showed great composure on these big walls.
Yeah, what sticks out to me is I know all these guys have ridden pahi, but I'm not sure they've ridden it this windy. And to manage that size surf in that size bump is just incredible. I mean, it takes the difficulty level, which is already pinned at a 10, and kicks it up to just an unimaginable level to deal with that wind and that bump. It's just hard for me to get my head around how difficult a really difficult situation becomes with that extra wind.
Well, I guarantee today, again, it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes on to making this a green light event a few days in advance. So it was like kind of one of those things like, we're going. And then everyone woke up and saw the wind and went, we're going? We're going. Let's go. Let's go.
And then those first few sets rolled in, and we just couldn't believe what we were seeing. We were trying to get through our morning show, and it was hard to focus on what was laid out in front of us, because out in the water it was just chaos instantly. Well, the chaos has come to a close with Billy Kemper standing on top of an amazing field, and we're going to throw it out into the channel now for the presentation.
Thank you very much, boys. I'm here with the pahi champion, Billy Kemper. Billy, the call came to you guys 72 hours out, then the night before, and then you wake up and you come down here and the waves look like that. It must have been one of the best moments of your life to just get down here and see waves like that for an event.
100%. This has been a pipe dream for many, many years, and I mean, actually paddling pahi has been a dream of mine for a long time, and to now be out here competing in an event with my favorite and the best world, the best big wave in the world is just, it's a dream come true, and to end up on top, it just leaves me speechless, and I'm so high off emotions and adrenaline right now. I'm literally have nothing. I can't even say anything.
Well then, without further ado, we'd like to present you with the Tag Heuer oversized watch, as well as a Tag Heuer watch that's going to come through to you, and the final pahi challenge champion trophy, Billy Kemper.
So, Billy, congratulations. You have $25,000 for your win today. Also, you got an Aqua Racer Tag Heuer watch that you'll be taking home. This one here, every time you're at the kitchen and you look up there, you'll get to remember this day. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And the last few days leading up to this event, I mean, we'd been on and off the phone, and people were questioning it, and I don't know, it seemed like positive, and we're sitting right here talking to each other, so it's always good to come out like that.
Well, there you have it, guys. Congratulations. The first ever pahi challenge is finally done and dusted.
Congratulations to you too, Peter Mel. An amazing job as commissioner getting this event underway. Always a lot of stress, and as I said earlier on, congratulations to all the competitors for putting on such an amazing show. But when we saw the lineup for this final, Ross, did you have an idea of who might take this thing out? Who was your pick, and did it play out the way you thought?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Everyone had Shane Dorian on their radar. He's the guy, you know, and for great reason. But here's the thing: when you're surfing in competition, you have to conserve energy throughout. And we saw Shane take a big wipeout in his semis, and he definitely looked like not as aggressive. In those first few heats, Shane was attacking the lineup and catching his waves no matter what, especially his first heat. Remember, he was just right off the bat, he caught a couple of waves. So he got gassed, and Billy was able, again, to keep that energy throughout the final that he had from the very first round.
Dave, we knew that swell was on the decline throughout the day, so we wanted to get things underway early. We definitely saw the biggest waves early on in the event, where some of these finalists really gave us their best surfing. It was a slow start to this final, though.
Yeah, it was. But what we saw Shane and Greg do what they do. They went out to the peak. They sat at the very top, where when you're the guy in the lineup, you sit up top, right? And that's where they went. And Billy and Albie sat down at the end, and it paid off this time. There was two very distinct, different strategies going on out there, and Albie and Billy did really well with their strategy, and unfortunately, it didn't pay off.
Ross, I got to say, I love the way the Big Wave Tour has set itself up. Some really good decisions being made as far as the restarts go. Time just added to the clock. When only 2 surfers have caught a wave, you can still add time to the clock when there's 6 in the lineup.
Yeah, and that was huge. We needed it, every minute of this final, because that swell was declining. And again, just to add to Dave's point, I think Albie Lair, when he was sitting on that end bowl, by the time he stands up, you're like, wait a minute, this wave is just as big as a set wave on the outside. It's so impressive. He was really close to taking this thing out. And I loved hearing that backstory from Billy, saying how we're so competitive. They're going to go home and just laugh about this contest. And Billy's going to be the champ for a whole year to rub it in his face.
Well, there he is celebrating. Huge congratulations from all his colleagues in that final. Emotional moments for Billy Kemper, dedicating the win to his brother and also giving thanks to his fiancée and his little baby boy. So a very emotional win there, but there are the final results, and that solid combined total for Billy, enough to keep him ahead of Albie Lair in the end.
Yeah, well, $25,000 will buy a lot of diapers, so I'm sure Billy's feeling pretty good about the win right now.
Well, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a look at the adjusted ratings for the Big Wave World Tour. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are capping off a memorable day here at Pahi. We've just seen Billy Kemper take the big prize, $25,000, and some big points. And we know they're big points because there is a coefficient on the Big Wave Tour, and we want to reward the surfers for that extra commitment when the swell is really pulsing, and today at Pahi it turned on.
Yeah, I don't think it's maybe possible to have an event that's not gold, right? So there's the 3 levels, and for Pahi, as soon as they pull the trigger on this venue here, it's going to be gold. But there's the actual breakdown there, Dave. It's got to be 45 foot on the face, and we definitely start out with that.
There's no doubt this was a gold, and like Strider alluded to, maybe platinum earlier on this morning. I mean, it's okay. If you win a race, that's great. But if the one race you win is a go-kart race versus a NASCAR race, there's a difference, right? And that NASCAR race needs to be rewarded for how significant that is. And I think Pahi falls into that category where this is as significant as it gets.
The only other event that we've had this season, the Quicksilver Ceremonial over at Punta de Lobos, it was a silver. So we know there's going to be some big movement on the ratings now, and it's going to be interesting to see what we have. Billy Kemper, he has moved into the lead.
Wow.
And he is ahead of Makuakai Rothman now. Albie Lair up into 3rd place, and What about the shift up? So many young names now making their way to the top end of the ratings now, Ross.
Well, that's what I really love, and I'm starting to kind of wrap my head around watching this event unfold all year long. All day long. Is this is a big wave tour. We're so used to kind of looking at big wave events as a one-off, but it's cool that all year long these guys can actually collect points and travel around and try and conquer different waves. It is very unique. Here in the last few years, we're just kind of fine-tuning this thing, and it's such a difficult thing to do to master more than one surf spot.
One of the interesting things for me, Dave, is looking at that top 10, and with other events on the schedule, those guys are going to automatically qualify for that next contest on the Big Wave Tour. And have a look at the names that are going to be outside of the top 10 now. Amazing to think of the lineup going into the next contest if we can get one underway.
Well, I'll tell you what Billy and Albie have done is they've created momentum. And momentum, as we all know, likes to keep moving. And so moving into the next event, they are bringing a lot of confidence, which we all know is critical to being successful in big waves. And so if they can take that momentum that they've just built up right here into the next event, boy, they're going to be dangerous. They are going to be dangerous.
It's shaping up pretty well, Ross, because what we had at this event is a cast of young guys who are so familiar with this break, and a lot of people not quite as familiar with the lineup here, but now that these surfers are going to be in that top 10, they're going to be going to breaks that are a little more foreign to them, and those guys down the back end of the ratings, they're going to have a real opportunity to fight for that ratings lead, and we're going to have a really good battle for the championship title. Here's the events left on the schedule.
Yeah, it's such an interesting point because, for example, Albie Lair is known for hounding that bull and getting pitted. That's what he grew up here on Maui doing. But if he wants to go to Oregon and sit up for there, he's going to have to go there. Maybe potentially even do some homework because there's not going to be an Albie Lair bull there, or So it's kind of cool to see again these guys apply their skills that they hone here at home and bring it on tour.
I tend to think that the skills you develop here travel well. This is the top of the mountain, and if you can get to the top of this mountain, you're kind of prepared for just about any mountain that you might encounter in this tour. So I'm confident for Albie and Billy.
A remarkable Hawaiian winter it's been already. We had Haleiwa, Wade Carmichael, an underdog getting the victory there. Carissa Moore winning her third world title at Honolulu Bay in the Target Maui Pro. Mick Fanning took out Sunset, getting his first ever victory. There's still one event to come, the Billabong Pipe Masters in loving memory of Andy Irons, and we have 6 world title contenders. I just completely forgot that was still to come. That is going to be a great way to finish the year, Ross. I know you're very excited about it, and the forecast of pipe looks incredible.
I think only this wave could do that too, because the Pipe Masters is the show, and there's so much to pick apart for that event. Obviously, we have 6 guys that could potentially win the world title, but let's face it, in my opinion, Mick Fanning is a heavy favorite. He's got Felipe and Adriano right behind him, and then Gabriel Medina, who I love the way Gabriel Medina surfs that pipeline, but he's got a bigger hurdle in terms of points. But Mick is just one of those guys. He's going to have a steady result. He's going to go out there. He's going to charge. Maybe he won't win the event, but I think he's going to be a shoo-in for the world title.
Dave Kalama, you've been tracking the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour throughout the year. What's your pick for what's about to unfold? You've also got some real favourites for the event win there in John Florence and Kelly Slater.
I'm an old school guy, so I'm rooting for the old school guys. And if Kelly or Mick or one of those guys were to take the win, it would just make me so happy that they're holding on to that throne for as long as possible, because that's what I've always tried to do, is to stay in the game.
It's a unique year, 6 world title contenders. The good news is for everyone, I believe we're going to have all 6 title contenders on Dawn Patrol on December 8th, the very first morning. We'll be chatting to each of them, and it's going to be great to get some insight on how they're feeling going into this, well, monumental battle.
Yeah, that is going to be so cool to get in their heads and see where they're at. And then, you know, you just look at the Pipeline Masters in itself, and guys like John, I mean, I think in my opinion, John is just the heavy favorite to win that event. So there's so many different stories to look at for Pipe. And then on top of that, Dave, you look at the forecast, it's another beastie one. There's a swell that's almost as big as this one on its way.
Yeah, the conveyor belt is now sending all the swells right down the belt. And this was a start. This kind of broke the seal. And as you mentioned, there's a bunch more to follow. So who knows what we're going to get. But you do know it's going to be exciting at the very least.
Also, another little bonus that could be coming our way this Hawaiian season is the Big Wave Invitational, the Eddie Aikau Invitational event. Ross, imagine if we get that thing done as well.
Oh, that would be a dream come true. And, you know, so I think it's 2009 was the last time we've run that event. Greg Long won it. And Waimea Bay is still the benchmark for, you know, just the history, the way it's a natural cathedral, the shape of the bay, and it still is one of the craziest drops. You know, Pahi is a perfect wave, but Waimea is a crazy, big, long, steep drop. You still have to swing it. So it's such an intense contest. I can't wait to watch that thing unfold too.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic show if we can get it underway. Dave, I want to thank you. It's been amazing to have your insights on this break throughout our broadcast, and fantastic to hear Billy Kemper giving you props for your hard work.
Well, Ronnie, I'm humbled to be up here with you guys. I've really enjoyed watching you over the last year plus, and to be up here mixing it up with you guys, it's just been so much fun, and I'm so thankful. I appreciate all the help, and it's been fantastic.
Hopefully we'll see you very soon. And Ross, I'll be seeing you at the Billabong Pipe Masters. It kicks off on December 8th. On behalf of our entire broadcast team, we want to say thank you for watching the Pahi Challenge. Congratulations, Billy Kemper, and we will leave you with highlights from all of today's action.
Whoever wins this is pretty much hands down the best big wave surfer in the world.
Some amazing waves approaching this lineup, and it's huge.
Shane Dorian's side slip. I mean, this is before the competition's even started, boys.
That's incredible.
Wow, someone just got completely drained.
Billy Kemper locks in a beautiful takeoff. Got some air under his board on that opening section. And a completed ride for Billy Kemper. Gabriel Villarand
drives off the bottom, comes around the corner, sets the rail and pulls in deep. Almost came out of that right there. What an amazing commitment.
Well, we have a bomb wave here for former big wave champ Greg Long. He is locked into one of the biggest waves of the day, and that thing just swallows him whole.
It's Walshy.
Greg Long. No, you're right. Walsh drops in and straightens out.
Today is not a day that we would normally consider a paddle-in day.
dangerous exit.
Oh my goodness, and that's not where you want to be right now.
Just moments away from getting underway.
Nice little runway into this one, a beautiful line. He's gonna pull in, standing tall, he gets blown out. Billy Kemper kicking out of a huge cavern, paddling now. Albie Lair, weightless on the takeoff, controls it down to the bottom. He wants to slow down to pull into the pit, gets right in the pocket, and he's puffed out. Billy Kemper takes the win at the first ever Pahi Challenge.